When a severe outage strikes a primary cloud region, the actual architectural bottleneck preventing recovery is rarely data loss. The real point of failure is orchestration across complex multi-tier dependencies. Moving data safely from point A to point B is a solved technical problem. Oracle DataGuard handles continuous database synchronization without manual intervention. Look at this architecture spanning Ashburn and Phoenix. The primary region goes dark. Data replication succeeds, but without a unified control plane, the application remains offline. Compute instances are unlaunched, boot volumes unattached, and load balancers lack routing. The dependency chain is broken. Historically, operations teams respond to this broken chain with sequential, human-driven runbooks. Database administrators, sysadmins, and network engineers work in isolated silos to manually force their respective components online. Relying on human-authored intervention during an outage means relying on scripts that often degrade over time. If a dependency changed months ago and the runbook wasn't updated, the manual commands will fail. These execution errors consume crucial minutes and hours, directly causing organizations to miss their enterprise recovery time objectives. OCI full-stack disaster recovery addresses this dependency problem by restructuring how failovers are triggered. Instead of maintaining static documents for human engineers, it provides a centralized, automated control plane that manages the entire application stack as a single unit. Scaling a multi-tier, multi-cloud architecture requires removing human latency from the recovery process, replacing it with standardized, full-stack orchestration. This orchestration model is built on a single foundational primitive, the DR protection group, or DRPG. In this diagram, we see two empty logical containers. These represent our primary and standby DRPGs, and they act as encapsulation boundaries for the entire application topology. We populate the primary group by assigning our operational assets as members, including autonomous databases, compute VMs, block storage volumes, and Kubernetes clusters. By grouping these resources, the system identifies the relationships between them, creating a dependency graph that understands exactly how the application is constructed. To activate this architecture, the populated primary DRPG in Ashburn must be paired with the standby DRPG in the target failover region of Phoenix. Once that pairing is established and the resources are mapped, the control plane analyzes the topology and automatically generates built-in execution plans. This means engineers no longer have to maintain custom Python or Bash scripts to dictate startup sequences. The logic is built into the service. Because this topological mapping operates at the orchestration layer, it natively supports cross-cloud dependencies, including complex integrations like Oracle Database at Azure. Grouping disparate infrastructure components into paired logical groups translates a complex architecture into a single, manageable state machine. From that state machine, the control plane generates 4 specific execution plans to manage any operational scenario. The first is the switchover plan. This executes a graceful, zero data loss transition of primary operations, typically used for planned maintenance. The second is failover. This is the emergency protocol, forcing the standby region to take over when the primary experiences an unmitigated outage. The third and fourth are start drill and stop drill, which handle the creation and subsequent cleanup of safe, cloned testing environments.
Before any plan is allowed to run, the execution must pass through a mandatory validation phase, automated pre-flight checks. We can see this validation in this checklist overlay. The system first checks that identity access management policies and block storage attachments are configured in the target region. Next, it interrogates DataGuard synchronization status, verifying data integrity before authorizing a database role reversal. Finally, the control plane queries the target region's API to confirm sufficient compute capacity exists to absorb the incoming failover load. A human engineer cannot manually verify hundreds of complex infrastructure dependencies in the seconds following a high-stress outage. By forcing every plan through these checks, the system validates failover viability, catching architectural misconfigurations before they can corrupt the production state. Once the pre-flight checks clear, the actual execution phase begins. This is the critical window where recovery time objectives are met. This Gantt chart timeline compares traditional manual execution on top with the automated parallel execution engine on the bottom. In a manual scenario, execution is sequential. DBAs must complete a full database role reversal before sysadmins can spin up virtual machines. The automated control plane eliminates this waiting period. By analyzing the dependency graph, the engine parallelizes every operation. Data guard roles are reversed at the same time obsolete primary compute instances are terminated. Replicated compute instances are launched from block volumes in the standby region, running concurrently with network route updates. Throughout this parallel process, every automated step is recorded into a permanent time-stamped log. You are no longer relying on the fragmented memories of engineers firing off terminal commands during a crisis. Replacing sequential human effort with a parallel execution engine is the only way to predictably minimize RTO in complex multi-tier topologies. Automated orchestration directly addresses the secondary challenge of disaster recovery, enterprise compliance, and security audits. In enterprise infrastructure, an untested disaster recovery plan provides no architectural guarantee. Without evidence of a successful drill, the plan is purely theoretical. This is why the Start Drill plan changes how site reliability engineers approach validation. This schematic illustrates the capability. The orchestration engine executes the full failover logic against an isolated, cloned test environment on the right, while the live production environment processes user data undisturbed on the left. Engineers can subject the cloned infrastructure to failure simulations without risking real-world data corruption or dropping live transactions. Because the operational risk of testing is reduced, organizations can run rigorous, continuous disaster simulations instead of avoiding them. Every action taken during these simulated drill events is captured in the execution log. For compliance officers, this log serves as verifiable proof that the infrastructure is capable of meeting its RTO mandates. Implementing this orchestration paradigm produces three outcomes. RTO is minimized, manual runbooks are deprecated, and granular auditability is achieved. Operating at enterprise scale means accepting that component failures will happen. Full-stack disaster recovery orchestration ensures that when those inevitable failures occur, the recovery process is predictable and automated.